absolute work, and this is just catching people in rotations and being aware. The quick double right away pushes them up to 8, and that was Melside too on the backside of it. Now they're up to 11 because Shishinkin was able to go to work, but the revive on Stompy ends up being the difference because he's able to push through. Finds Mashus right there, now up to 12 as a duo. You will see Shishinkin go down on the backside there, so Stompy is just going to continue being a one-man wrecking crew on the tarp, up to 13 as a duo. Heavy snipes his way in, doesn't slow down, and continues pushing the pace, picks it up there, but unfortunately wasn't able to close out for the victory route. Stompy putting on a clinic, showing why he's able to contest for the very top. Now, as we talked about, the queues are closed, but we're not done yet. We want to see those final matches and what's left, Books.
For sure. Now, interestingly enough, I had the opportunity to speak with Stompy the other day. You know, we exchanged a little bit of back and forth about how he's feeling for World Cup. Him and Shinkin are practicing 12 hours a day. They are going into this hard, and from what we've seen, it certainly shows. But you know what? I can't wait to get into more games. Zeke and Bala, let's hear from you.
Pookie just flexing all over us right now, talking about how she's talking with Shinkin and Stompy. That's cool. I also talk to players. No, it's not, Pookie.
Don't cry on us now, but...
It's already cried 6 times. That's a 6. All right, Fortnite fam, we are back.
And we're tuning in with Pyro and Destiny's Jesus right here. Destiny's Jesus is definitely somebody that's been on a lot of people's radar because, you know, we all learn from this guy. Everybody's watching his videos because every single day it feels like he's coming out with a new technique on how to box fight or how to build fight. His partner Pyro right now, they're slightly split. See if they're going to be able to find any picks on the way in. You find Wolfie. It's not the Wolfies that we saw from the other game. So just to keep that in mind right here.
Different Wolfie. So let's reiterate. We did not look at standings. But we know like 77 points is the highest we've seen at this point, right? So for Pyro and Destiny's Jesus, especially with maybe a last few games, they've got to make some really big things happening. Right now, Pyro is saying, don't even worry, fam. We've got you. We're going to pick up eliminations left and right. They've also hit the first round of placement points. This is going to be super, super beneficial for them.
Yeah, and when I said they were split, I didn't actually realize that they're not even split at all. They just kind of have two different angles here that they're approaching. Finding picks right here. Destiny's Jesus looking down that south side and Pyro looking over towards the east. And finding those eliminations, not only does he have those, but he's feeling comfortable because he's finding those picks, getting the siphon, all that. They're getting themselves healthy, but he has 2 rip-to-goes as well in the inventory as Carnage is to go for heavy snipe. Oh, that is why you kind of need to make sure that you're not going into these situations, these end games, with low white HP, with low health. Because if you don't have any bandages or anything like that, you're not going to be able to recover that without siphon, right? And if somebody is carrying, by chance, some stink bombs, and they realize, hey, I can go ahead and throw this on this box and get 2 people ticking down at the same time, that's value from that stink bomb. And also, finding elimination because he was low, too low to even survive even a tick from it.
And I mean, they made it very known that what they were trying to do, right? The first heavy snipe came in and blew the wall out. At that point, you got to just build a wall, re-edit your ramp, and then just like move a 1x1 space back, right? A grid space back, because you know what they're trying to do, and you've got to expect. I did not expect that. Another stinker here, and this is what I'm talking about, right? You already see the players trying to get away from the stink bomb there, but in a similar fashion, you got to be ready. You got to think, what could they have at their disposal? They're trying to pressure us right now, especially this position. We've got to be ready for a stink to come in. But right now, Carnage is going to look to reposition. Pretty good spot right now on this far side of the circle. Now we're just waiting.
Heavy snipe comes in, the tree's in the way though, and I don't think there's a player directly in this box. He might have thought because the tree was in the way that
they were hiding behind.
Yeah, exactly. When the sound is there, you kind of hear the sound cues. You know that there's something coming. But regardless, oh,
there's the player.
He comes in from the side. They both edit into the same box from different walls, and that's going to be the end of probably both of those duos, unfortunately, because they're fighting right on the edge of zone and with walls ahead of them as well. They're not going to be able to make their way out that easily, and a lot of players are going to realize exactly what's going on. But look how high Vapors and Yuto are right now, and we're already down to 12 teams in this game, Zeke.
I mean, they've got the builds, they've got a flint knock, they've got a chug splash, just a single one if they need to get crazy. They drop down in the box, the first shot misses, 125. And Land gets destroyed there. The chug splash going to help top him off. Unfortunately, look, his dual partner Yuto up above. has been dropped, so now it is all on the shoulders of Vapor. They have 3 eliminations between them, so they've got to chain together more if they're looking for more points. Thankfully, the Storm goes back the opposite way.
And look who actually took high ground from them. It's Destiny's Jesus and Pyro, who we saw in with before, and he still has that GL that he's been using the grenade launcher from range, finding himself one before, and actually going to find another Rift to go. Not going to be that useful right now, but that GL is going to be, because they are having a free roam range right here up on top. They can throw this GL down in so many different cracks. And did he get it in that wall? Yes, but it's not going to find any damage. Actually, somebody fighting for height right now, but with those build fight tactics that he's been working on, he's going to go ahead and crank right back up and not let him take it. But in this case, does end up taking it. The Chug Splash coming in. Ooh, a Rift play. This is kind of an all or nothing. They might land on Alpha and Blaster right here. No, they're going to go ahead and scoop back out of the zone, but no, Pyro lands, and Destiny's Jesus didn't, so a little bit of miscommunication right here. Is Destiny's Jesus going to be able to maybe knock this out? Because I know Pyro has something. He does find Blaster, so is he going to actually take this team on head-to-head right now and possibly put themselves in position to win this game? Destiny's Jesus making his way right back up, and this fight is for all the marbles. The spam coming in from below, and that's going to be the end of Blaster and Alpha. Pyro and Destiny's Jesus took the high ground.
This is so huge. All he had to do was buy the time for the Siphon to come through, and that's exactly what he did. Look, Alpha dropped all the way down. He was like, look, you know what? That entire fight is lost. And now Destiny's Jesus and Pyro can rejoin. Down below, Pablo is going toe-to-toe with Alpha. And look at this, Suicide Mark as well. He gets traded out. And now Pablo is in a 1v2.
I think actually Destiny Jesus just knocked a few GLs down there, but he falls to his elimination right there. He gets knocked, and right now Pyro's making the slow climb down. It's now a 1v1 as Alpha goes down, but Pyro takes out Vapor, and the Victory Royale puts them at 63 points to win that game.
Man, so don't forget, we've seen quite a bit of points. They very well could be contesting for top 5 right now, and that would be absolutely huge. But of course, more games, more action to tune into. We're over by Tomato Temple. Look at it. All hail your tomato overlords.
Well, right now, just a recap of where we're talking about in terms of standings. You said that the highest points that we saw was what, 77?
77. So that's the highest we've seen
Destiny,
so far.
Jesus and Pyro at 63 or maybe 64, depending on how that updates with that last elimination. They could be pushing up towards not necessarily qualification range just yet, but another one of those performances, and they very well could be. Remember, though, the queues are closed, so that could have been the last game that we just watched there. But here's Rennick takes out Mitro, and his teammate Vermax is already down, so Mitro himself did not have his duo partner Mongrel, but we already know their prowess. They've, you know, it seems as if they've qualified multiple times for duos already, Mitro and Mongrel, so they're not worried about that. Obviously not getting a chunk of that $2 million that's spread across all the regions. But again, talking about the scores and the standings, right now you can see Frenzy and Ads are already kind of tied with that last team that we saw.
Yep.
So possibly
and if I remember,
up through this game.
If I remember, it was Stomping Toshinkin, right, that had 77. If I remember correctly. It's honestly probably so much action.
If that's an assumption that we're trying to make, I think we can go ahead and make that comfortably.
I think what I was also going to say in regards to that is that don't forget they've already qualified, right? So even if they're sitting at that #1 spot, that shifts the entire standings down, all right? So not 1 through 4th that are going through, but instead 2 through 5th will be going through. But right now,
and that's a story in and of itself. Yeah. Stompy and Shinken, they've done it every single duos week. They have done it every single duos week. They have not missed a beat on making sure they're up in the top spots every single weekend.
Man, to get and be able to like get that kind of practice, right? And to keep doing it. One thing would be like, we qualified, we hit, you know, the very next week we hit first, all right, then we've hit at least like maybe top 10. But no, these guys are hitting top 3 back to back.
Stink bombs right now, Zeke. I think he's going to get both from this last one. I think this is going to do it. I think his HP is going to be gone, but no, not throwing it all the way ahead, but he's going to find the AR shots regardless. So Ghosty and Jamif falling to, you know, he actually still has 2 more stink bombs right here. That's crazy.
And don't forget, these get more valuable as the circle closes, right? Because remember, this is the space of, or I guess the stink cloud is a little bit bigger than a 1x1. So as that circle continues to close, you can really be putting some people in really tough spots, especially when you're basically just saying, the entire play space you're in right now, boom, I have dealt it, you're smelling it.
Classic Zekeism right there. He always gets the last laugh. But moving into the rest of this game right now, it's Zeke and Narcos on high ground.
You know, I really got to reach out to Zeke here because we have the same name, and every time Sundown is on broadcast and says his name, I look and I'm like, wait, did you say my name? Does he need me? Oh, never mind. It's just Zeke and Narcos. Yep, that's fine.
Yeah, always on high ground, always winning games, something that Zeke is not familiar with.
Dang it, I was going to make the joke. You beat me to the punch.
But Narcos and Zeke are certainly familiar with it as they take high ground and hold it against Kaspersa, who tried to take it from them. Narcos has qualified in solos, not just yet in duos, but we'll see here if the Polish duo can do it, can qualify for New York. They're at 57 right now. We saw a couple of players that were ahead of them in terms of points in this game.
Right.
So everything matters. Remember, every interaction counts. I think he has another opportunity here to knock down, but no, they're not going to take it. They're going to decide time to back off. But as that branches out more and more, hold on, because Hadkos falls directly into somebody's box, and I think that's going to be the end. Yes, he falls to the zone because that player takes advantage of the, distraction that he had up on high ground and knocks him out from below. No, it's Frenzy and Ads that I was just kind of referencing in terms of their points. At 66, they take the high ground, Zeke.
Look at this, 67 points now. They're trying. Now, don't forget, we saw, again, 77 is the highest we've seen so far. They're 10 points in striking distance, and that's if that duo was in the #1 spot. So you've got to think, again, these guys are contesting for top 5. We've seen teams literally sit here and trade places, and if they hit top 15, this would be huge. Lestream, Vato, and Skype are in this game, Bala.
That is huge. And they're at 77 as well,
so
as we see and update their scores. So just like you're talking about, 77 is that point to beat. Right now, they're going to find another. The cone slide comes in. It's Takeoffs again who goes down, and his teammate Andretta falls to Tux, who is with Borwin. We saw them win the game earlier.
And look, dude, they jump up to 81 points. They hit the top 15. Those first 3 points are so crucial. And look, they're just waiting it out, right? This lobby's going to continue to thin itself out. Zeke, my boy, unfortunately gets picked up in another round of placements. 83, Bala. 83. They could very well clutch this up and just be the point leaders.
This could be it. Skype and Vato could finally, after 10 weeks of trying, after 4 duos competitions, all those weekends finally paying off, possibly here for Skype and Vato. We've seen this exact situation play out in that game that they got all the way towards the top 5 last time with a lot of eliminations racking up as well. They're playing slow, and they're making sure that they're going to get that ticket to New York.
And if you watch in the top left, Vato, unfortunately, he gets traded out. He's gone down, and he gets picked up by FaZe Vorwin. And right before that, I was going to say Mongrel gets picked up. Skype's dropped down to 18 HP. In his mind, he's probably thinking, this is his moment to shine in the sun, down to 8 HP. He has to make something happen. Even just hitting top 5 would make the difference right now, Bala.
And I don't even think all these builds are his. You can see as soon as he got into the next box, he frantically makes...
No!
But it's Tux who took out Vato earlier. He uses the stink bomb at the opportune moment and takes out a few more. That's 7 eliminations total. Vorwin's still up, though, so he still has an opportunity to make this work.
Oh, man, eliminated 6 there, just on the cusp, but it's okay. Again, that's now the highest point value we've seen. Even evade ads, look at this, 75 points right now. These numbers are getting out of control. Vorwin down on the lowest ground. He's going to be dropped.
He's got to break through metal, though.
He's got to find Sensei. Look up. He's got to get Sensei. He's going to drop down in front. No. He does not get the trade out. Ads right now has the health advantage. Frenzy and Sensei, look at them both. They're so hurt that the storm is continuing to tick them out, and it is not enough. It's Ads and Frenzy get the victory royale.
Man, Zeke, we're 79 points.
I can't
and
do
that
this.
could be 80 because I know that elimination counter is slow to update towards the end of these replays. It could be enough, and that could even be possibly their last game, or they could have gotten one more in before these queues. I mean, Zeke, this is coming straight down to the wire here in Europe.
Oh my goodness, man. Of course it would be like this for the final week. It's been like this every, periodically we've seen moments like this where we've seen players edged out at the very end.
And I gotta, Vato and Skype, man.
Yes.
Out in 6th place in that game, not quite making it to 5th place. That could come back to bite them in a terrible fashion. It could be heartbreaking for them, but we go ahead and catch up with them later in the standings. We'll see where they all end up. Here, Thomas and Kluja finding 1 elimination this game, and again, we're looking at the point ranges. 77 was that But as we saw that last game,
Yeah.
they pushed over that 77.
So don't forget, they're at 83 points when we last saw them. So right now, if you're looking at Thomas and his dual partner, Kluja, they could very well contest that 83 points that we saw, right? It's only a difference of 6 points. That's making it into top 10. They're at, or excuse me, top 5. With a few eliminations sprinkled in there, man, I do not want to see Sky and Vato get edged out again. They've come so close so many times. This has got to be their week, and you've got to think they're thinking the same thing, right? They're like, it's all come down. We've put everything on the line. We're playing our hearts out. This is our week to qualify. Just keep your head up and keep positive.
And let's not forget about Tux and Vorwin there in that last game as well. Contesting with Skype and Vato, actually taking them out.
Right.
First, Vato ends up getting split, and Tux takes advantage of that. And then the stink bomb coming in at the perfect moment. Skype not having any white heels. We talked about it earlier. So ending up edging them into that top 5 and finding some eliminations on the way, too.
Probably kicking themselves, thinking if we had made that top 5, it would have just helped ensure that our placements were very high. But right now, the current game, Brolof here and his duo partner, Artemis Swede, they're in top 15. Don't forget that first round of placement points is great, but they're at the 39 threshold. They've got to make more happen. And don't forget Thomas and Kluja, they're sitting on 77 if I remember correctly. The question would be, who else is in this lobby? What other big names can we scout out?
It's not just big names, but anybody who's up at the top of the leaderboards right now, because as far as I'm concerned, Thomas and Kluja are the subjects of this game as far as we've seen so far. Obviously, everybody else getting the action.